What's up, guys? Welcome to A Vibe Called West Radio. Today we have a very special guest, Mandi Macias. How are you today?
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Carter. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I want to give a big shout out. So originally we met at the Peppermint Show at Music Swipe.
Yeah, Christmas time.
That was a lot of
That was fun.
Crazy, great. That was a lot of fun though. It was an amazing show. Shout out Jackie. I work with her still. She's my publicist. Amazing. So she's introduced me to so many amazing artists. And
she's a sweetheart. Like, she's seriously the bubbliest person. Like, it's crazy because it's like, I feel like she knows everyone, but it's just because she like talks to everyone and she's so genuine. So she's awesome.
100%. Yeah, she's able to make a really authentic connection with each person. So shout out Jackie. Thank you for, introducing us.
Love you, Jackie.
And I know that you're from Los Angeles.
Yes.
I'm from Los Angeles. It's really rare. There's a lot of transplant.
What part?
So I'm from Manhattan Beach.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm from the South Bay.
Okay, nice.
What part of Los Angeles are you from?
I'm from like Chatsworth. I don't know. A lot of people don't know that, but it's the closest to the mountains. Lots of horses and fun stuff. Yeah.
That's very different than the beach, but obviously probably very nice. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. And then, so I know kind of similar to me, I know where I'm trying to make our connections right now. I know you have a big family.
Yeah.
2 brothers, 3 sisters.
Yeah.
3 older sisters.
That's
the same as me.
Yeah. Really? You have?
Yeah. So I have 4 sisters, 3 older, 1 younger. Then I have a brother.
So wait. 4 sisters.
4 sisters, 1 brother.
And 1 brother. Okay, you guys are the exact same.
It's interesting. Yeah, literally, it's crazy.
Wait, what like
the
where
order is? So I have it's my younger sister Frankie, then Bowen, then me. I'm in the middle.
Okay.
And then I have Allie, Chandler, Nikki.
But is Nikki's the girl, baby?
Nikki's the oldest.
Oh, okay. I had it reversed.
Yes, I had the reverse. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm the baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly.
Do you guys have big age gaps?
No, because I call them my siblings. I've known them since I was 2 or 3. Some of them are my step siblings.
Okay.
Some of them are the same age. So Chandler and Allie are actually the same age. They're 2 years older than me.
Okay.
Nikki's a lot older than us.
Yeah.
And then Bowen and Frankie are the same age, and they're 2 years younger than me.
We love a good blended family.
Yeah, we're like the real Brady Bunch. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out my parents. They did an amazing job with us. Seriously. But back to you. I know that like family, the team around you, especially when you're like a musician and creative, is so important. And I know that you just got a new manager.
Yes.
I want to give a big shout out to Carrie.
I did. Yes. Big shout out to Carrie Ann and Kimball Entertainment. For so long of my entirety pretty much of my career up until now, my mom was my manager. But that was like real hush hush because like momager is almost like a bad word in like LA. You're like, oh, you're a momager. Like, okay, So my mom, she worked so hard. I'm so incredibly like proud of her. We even like we'd use her maiden name when she met people. And then once we got comfortable, we'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, that's my mom. And they're like, oh yeah, we could kind of put 2 and 2 together. Like, we weren't fooling anyone, but it at least like got us into the rooms a little bit easier and people respected the hustle a lot more. And yeah, I'm just super excited. Carrie Ann's super like just innovative and ambitious, and I'm just really excited to see where this partnership takes us. Yeah.
Great adjectives for a manager. Literally, that's perfect. And then so I know that before we dive into everything, I know that you have a show coming up at the Viper Room July 5th.
Heck yeah, I'm so pumped. I was originally supposed to open for this band. They're called Selfish Sons, and they were going to play the Roxy because they're from Australia. And this is like back when it was like raining like crazy, and the Roxy completely flooded, so they had to cancel their show.
Oh, wow.
And they hit me up. They're like, hey, we're going to actually be playing the Viper Room. Do you want to co-headline? I was like,
that's so sick.
Yes, but they actually just got off tour from opening for the Jonas Brothers. They're super sweet, amazing band from Australia. They're the Selfish Sons. And then the other openers are really great. There's Anthony Ortiz, and there's also an artist named Janoski, and they're just really, I'm really excited. The lineup's going to be amazing.
Well, shout out the entire lineup. That sounds
seriously
great.
Looking out for artists support other artists.
Literally, it's the best way. I think like especially with just like all, there's so much content, and there's so much things that can distract someone. I think coming together as artists and melding fan bases and like being authentic like that.
Yeah, it's so important. I think it's such a myth to think that there's like competition. I mean, there is competition, but it's within yourself. It's like everyone is different. Like, you could have the same genre, you can have the same style, but at the end of the day, you are you, and no one else can be that. No one else can sound like you. So like this whole myth where you're like, oh, you're competing with that girl because she's the same, she's same style, same age. It's like, well, how cool would that collab would be? Because we're the same style, same age. Her fans love her fans love, my fans love me. It's like, why not collab? So I just think it's so amazing when artists can like collaborate and just support each other.
100%. There's two different mindsets with it, really. It's like there's like abundance, which is that one. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's scarcity, and I think
Oh
that
yeah.
causes fear among different artists. So I'm happy that you're in the abundance
Yeah.
mindset. And then before we dive fully into it, I want to ask, or actually I'm going to explain to the new and old listeners. So prior to Mandi coming on, I asked her what her favorite album was. She told me it's hard to imagine the neighborhood ever changing by the neighborhood. So I went on Spotify, seeded the songs based on total number of streams, 1 through 8, and I put it into a tournament bracket. The way that they progress through their bracket is going to be Mandi's decision. You ready to find out your favorite song on this album?
I'm ready.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But
Oh man.
but before we dive in, why did you choose this album? What about it resonates so strongly with you?
I'm a huge Neighborhood fan. When I was like, since I was in middle school, like I've just always felt like their lyrics are super, the narratives that they tell is just so intriguing to me and honest and raw. Like the first song I ever heard for them was R.I.P. to My Youth. And I feel like they kind of inspired my like Teenage Eulogy EP. But I saw them live and I just think that like together as a band, they have such a like energy and it's so like magnetic. And every album that they release, it's just another story, another character that they build, and it's just so I love it. I love also pop alternative music, and I think that he's like the king of it sometimes. So yeah, I chose this one because it's their newest one, but all of their albums are probably my favorite.
Well, I'm excited. You're transferring the passion to me right now, so I'm really excited to dive in. Let's start off with the first matchup, which is going to be Softcore versus Stuck With Me. Sorry, my neck.
Okay, this one's actually gonna be kind of easy with me. Softcore, the production, off the charts. Like off the charts, it's great. But Stuck With Me, I just really like the lyrics. I'm gonna go Stuck With Me.
Do you find yourself when you're like breaking down these songs? I know it's the first one. Actually, I want to wait on this question because I want to know, like, when you're listening to a song, what's the first thing you kind of tap into? Is it the lyrics, the melody, the instrumentation? Would you say?
I think it varies. It's like whatever's the most attention grabbing. I think, like as a listener in general, I'm going to music school, and it's so funny because they call like fans who are not like listening to it technically, we call them the Billy, Beckys, and the Ryans. And it's like I always listen to a song as a Billy, Becky, and a Ryan at first. Like I'm just here to enjoy it and experience the music. And so when I'm listening to it, I'm not like listening from like a very technical point, but then that's just how my brain works. So it's like whatever is the most catchy, whether it's the melody, whether it's like, oh my God, this drum is like crazy. It's just making me like want to groove. So it's really different. But when I start to get into the nitty gritty, I like really start to like look for the bass, and I kind of like really dive into production. And then I would say like, of course, lyrics are important, but it's more like melody for me. I mean, you can have a great song and like, you're like, I don't even know what it's about.
Yeah.
I feel like Stairway to Heaven is like the perfect example. It's like, he was just, he even says like, I was just high and I wrote that song.
Yeah.
But oh my God, that melody and the instrumentation, like
Beautiful.
I don't even need to know what it's about. So I think lyrics are, for me, they're important, but it's not like the end of the world. If
100%, because music's so emotional.
Yeah.
And their sounds can transfer that emotion.
100%.
Totally.
I think that's the answer then, the emotion. I'm such a big person on like songs should move you, and they should move you in like such a physical way, whether it's like dancing, whether it's like I want to go home and cry and listen to this, or just be in the car and just feel like you're like being transported. I love that.
100%. Yeah, it's like that's the power of music.
Yeah.
Specifically, and then awesome. That was a fantastic just description of everything with that. Let's go to the next one, which is going to be You Get Me So High versus Void.
This
I know, this is the one you were worried about.
This one's hard. Okay, because these are actually my two favorites. You Get Me So High is, I think it's like a fan favorite and a crowd favorite, and it's a favorite for a reason. But Void, it's a personified, like, it sounds like a love song, like a breakup song, but he's actually was writing about like a drug abuse. And he's like saying, yeah, and it's almost like, because he personifies the drug use as a woman. And I just think as a writer, I'm like,
I love the abstract.
I love it. I love it. And it's like, if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, you just think it's a song about him missing a woman, but it's about being stronger. So I'm gonna go with Void just because I like the writing so much.
After that description, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
But You Get Me So High, It's another one. I think that'd be probably like
It's a great album. So
Yeah,
it's
it
going to be
is.
tough. And then, so we're talking about an album that you love. I want to talk about, though, you a little bit.
okay.
So let's
Shoot.
dive into, so I know you wrote your first song at the age of 8
Mm-hmm.
through the passing of your late Nana Barbara, R.I.P., by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of it was Old Pal.
Yeah.
And you have a quote that I think is really represented by your first song, which is turning pain into purpose and lessons into studio sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still find that pain/turmoil is one of the biggest catalysts for your songwriting?
I do. I do. I mean, I like to say I'm one for the dramatic and like very like expressive art. And it's so funny because in another interview, I had just released a song called When You Were a Virgin, and it was about basically just like roasting the guy I lost my virginity to because he went and he like told all his bros that like locker room talk, and it just made me feel super diminished. And one of the interviewers was like, wow, you must be a terrible ex-girlfriend like writing songs, like, and I was like, first of all,
That's a wild thing for
yeah,
someone.
I know, but I was like, it's so interesting because my art is where I get all my anger, all my sadness, all my grief out. Any like emotions that are like taboo that we can't really talk about, I like struggle with expressing that, and sometimes I don't even know I'm feeling a certain way until I start like writing and like playing on the keys. And for me, it's just like that's the easiest way for me to figure out my emotions. And once it's out, I'm like chill. Like even after that whole situation, I ended up actually hitting up my ex because we're friends. And I was like, hey, like I did this song, like Don't Hate Me. And he was like, LOL, you're a jerk, but it's fine. Like who cares? Like we're cool. So it's so funny because like obviously like we don't have beef, but I'm always like, I was like trashing him in my song. But yeah,
But
cool.
he had his reaction to the situation, which was to tell his friends, and that was your reaction.
Yeah, and he was, and like
So,
we
like,
like could
it's
both
even.
mutually agree we were young and it was mean and it was stupid.
But,
and you know what? Thanks for giving me a hit out of it.
100%, exactly.
But,
At least yours
yeah.
is positive. Like it was a positive outcome.
Yeah, and I always, anytime I release songs, like I'm never trying to like hurt someone. Like I always like will reach out. I'm never trying to like trash someone, but it's like how I'm feeling. And usually like because I get this emotion out, I'm like able to be like reasonable about the situation afterwards and be like, hey, like this is a song I wrote. I was feeling this way. Like, you cool with it? And they're usually like, oh my God, you wrote a song about me.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, you know what?
It's
Relax. You're not that special.
I love that. I think like again, kind of what I was saying was like when you're able to turn like tragedy into triumph, or like a situation that's, you're processing into something that's beautiful for other people to hear, like that's a very positive outcome.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the luxury that musicians have.
It is.
Which is so nice.
It's such a powerful tool, and no one really talks about it enough. I'm with something that my manager brought to my attention is there's a whole recovery program called Walk to Recovery. And it's because songwriting uses both sides of your brain. It uses your left side, your thinking, and then it might be, I'm not a brain expert.
I think the left side.
Is that the creative?
I think the right is creative, left is analytical.
Yes. Well, yeah,
I might be
probably.
right.
I
don't
mean,
know either way.
I'm not a neurosurgeon or anything.
I'm using both sides of my brain right now.
Yeah, don't quote us, but it does. When you songwrite, you're using both your creative and your analytical side of your brain, and it really does. Like they did tests where they like put on like the little patches, and it's like it's such a therapeutic and healing experience. And like the Rock to Recovery basically goes and it like it helps people write songs who like aren't musicians, and it like heals them from like mental health problems and just all this beautiful things. And I just think that songwriting is such a superpower that no one talks about.
So true. And I have a song on my last record called Superpowers about that exact thing.
Wow.
So funny, yeah. And then but staying, I think this is kind of just a fun exercise. So I know that one of the first kind of pieces of exposure you had was the cover of a Camillo's Crying in the Club.
Yeah.
I want to ask, if you could do one cover right now and you knew that everyone was going to see it, what song would you choose?
I think I would do like a rock I play it at shows. I do a rock version of Give Me More by Britney Spears.
Ooh, that's sick.
Yeah, I love Britney. Love her. I think she's like such an iconic person.
Definitely.
But I love Give Me More, and especially when you add the rock like guitar elements, and then I also kind of belt the thing. It's super fun. I'm actually thinking about possibly recording the cover and like having like the rock version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love playing it. It's such a high energy song, and it's like also like everyone loves Give Me More by Britney Spears. So it's so fun.
Awesome. That's a great answer. I love that song.
Thank you.
So you definitely should. And then so one of the things as a parent doing research is, your career, you truly represent the term triple threat.
Thank you.
And I want to say,
got me blushing.
and I know you've been dancing since your mom put you in Chatsworth Dance Studio for tap and ballet classes at age 4. And now you even appeared as a cheerleader in the Black Eyed Peas music video "Big Big Love."
You really did research. I'm like
It's my
shocked.
job. How different is the experience of performing for a crowd as a dancer versus a vocalist? And do you ever find yourself coming up with fully choreographed dances for each of your songs?
So it's so funny you brought up the Chatsworth Dance Studio because it's no longer a thing, sadly.
Aw.
We miss it.
Yeah.
But I was like traumatized. I did tap dancing there and I was like really little. And
You were 4.
yeah, I was 4.
Very young.
And I was doing a recital and like it was because I had just done like it was like a quick change because I had just done another like dance thing. So I was like changing and it was a duet. Me and this other little like 5-year-old, 6-year-old. And my mom didn't hook the halter of my leotard on. And I went on stage and I'm vibing. I'm like going hard and I'm doing this little thing. And it was to the song, the monkey motion, come on, babe. Anyways, I'm out there and my whole leotard like falls off and I'm like 4, like holding it, like as if I had anything to hide, but I'm like, I was so scared. And then my little like
That's
dance
shocking,
partner,
yeah.
she looked at me and she went, and walked off the stage. And then I was just standing there and they put the spotlight on me. No one came to help me. You just see my dance teacher being like, come here. And it was so, and then it came to haunt me because it was on video. And my mom showed it to every boy I ever brought over. Like in high school, if I had a crush on a boy, I'd bring it. She'd be like, you want to see a funny video? You want to see a cute video of Mandy? And it was that dance video. It's literally traumatizing.
Oh my God. Well,
On that, sorry
no,
for that
that's so
side
funny
rant,
though.
but
I
it's
love
just
that.
a
I feel like it's like a, my parents.
It's just, I heard that, and literally when you said
Yeah,
that,
like literally
my
brought you
mouth
back.
was literally like, I dropped. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe anyone. Of course, someone would know though, because my mom can't keep quiet about that whole situation. It's like, I can't escape it.
I love that. It's great. Shout out your mom. It's really funny. And then really quick though, do you find, even like kind of with the TikTok stuff, do you find yourself ever like wanting to choreograph any of your songs?
Choreographing, I feel like choreographing is just like another art in itself, and that's one thing that I wish I had more of. I think I like more like following. I'm like following the rules almost. Like I like to learn dances because it makes me feel confident. It makes me feel good and sexy. But like my creativity is more in the songwriting zone. I'm sure I could if I really tried, but it wouldn't be like doing the songs.
Yeah, it's not your first
Yeah,
natural.
it wouldn't be doing the songs justice because that's just not my first like creative nature. But man, I love just moving my body and dancing and I wish I could choreograph. I think that's something I want to start working on more as a person.
I think it's also like you're right. Like that's a full one job to like, piece of art as well.
Yeah, it's a whole other form of storytelling and there's just some people who are so naturally gifted at it and I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you just came up with that whole 8 count? Like that's an improv? Like what just happened right now?
But you have your own superpowers. Which
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
songwriting. And really quick, before we move on, is it true that you ran cross country and finished 9th at ESPN Finals in Florida?
Yes, I ran.
That's impressive.
Thank you. I still love running, but I ran track and field and cross country for about 9 years, and then I got asked to run for the California children's team, and so I went. Yeah, it was really really interesting, and I just remember being so excited to get to go to Florida with like my track friends.
Yeah.
And there was like golden corrals everywhere in Florida, and like that was like. Little Mandy was thriving, like the chocolate fountain.
I love
and
it.
I remember it was like after the race, so I just felt like such a like we were all like California Comets won that year.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
But it was
Shout
also
out California.
Florida has no mountains and we were training on mountains.
Makes sense actually.
So we did really well. And I love running. I think that's also a form of like therapy for me, like meditation and getting like just, that in dopamine hits and
100%. They're definitely a big endorphin rush. I go to the gym every day for that exact reason.
See, I'm not a gym girly. I'm trying to get back into my gym girly days. I can run. I love running.
But I can't. I wish I could run. I
can't. I feel like gym, like people are looking at me and like, don't try
Probably,
to talk to me. I'm like, uncomfy.
It's different for a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
100%. No one's looking at me. I'm going in there. And I'm solo. No, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was impressive.
Thank you.
Really quick though, I want to go back to the big board and talk about an album that you love.
All right.
So let's go to the next matchup, which is going to be Reflections versus Scary Love. Sorry, I found your neck.
Oh, no, I know. I'm like.
Yeah, literally.
Reflections and Scary Love. This one's a little easy for me. It's Scary Love.
So what about that song made you be like, oh, that's easy?
I really love the melody on that song. I think one thing that Jesse Rutherford and the Neighborhood, the band, does really, really well is having like super catchy melodies. And like also their production is just always like really off the chart because they like incorporate like raw like instrument sounds, but with also like they'll have synth or they'll have like really fun like electric sounds as well. It's like it's really hard to be like, oh, it's just the band playing, and then you're like, wait, no, that's not the band playing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, oh, you hear that guitar, and you're like, okay, it's driving.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say Scary Love. Just Reflections it's one of their slower songs, and I kind of like the beat of Scary Love.
Love that. Another great description. It's like it's good for me because like also like you're giving these thorough answers, so it's like you're also going with the gut, and that's exactly what
I know.
I want.
I'm like, I feel like I need to put like glasses on
I
and
know,
be like talking about my.
You're like Anthony Fantano right now. It's like we're talking about the needle, like with the needle drop. All right, so finally for the first round, let's do Nervous versus Compass.
Compass.
Please break it down. Why is it Compass?
Because it's just it's like cute little love song. He's just saying that she's his compass and that he would be lost without her. And I just imagine a guy writing that about you being like, but then he says that he keeps her in his pocket to use.
Which is interesting.
And it's like, okay, so you're using me, but you're writing songs about me, so
yeah.
it's okay. You can use me if you write songs about me.
Exactly. That's the threshold.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. First round done. I want to go back to some questions really quick.
All right.
So circling back to kind of just the different aspects of just you creatively, I know you recently starred in a film titled Young G. Is that how you pronounce it?
Young G.
Young G, which is currently streaming on Momi 2.
Momi 2.
Yeah, thank you. And also features many of your own songs, which I thought was really amazing.
Yeah.
Can you break down for me what a day of filming is like and how much is a contrast with the normal responsibilities for a music artist? Meaning, how does a day on set differ from a day in the studio?
So this film, it like took forever to film because it was originally casted before COVID.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, long production.
But then we got put on pause because of COVID, and then we had to wait until, productions could resume. But it was like filmed late 2021, and it was such a unique experience because I didn't meet half of the cast because only the people that were in the scene could be on set, and then if you weren't in the scene, you had to be covered. And since it was my first film, it wasn't like what I was expecting, but we got so close to the people because it was like seeing the same people over and over again for hours of the day, and there's like no one else to talk to. So I was like to my co-star Bryce Jenkins, we had almost every scene together. So like after I'd talk his ear off because I'm a chatty Cathy, and I was like, "You're gonna hate me," and he was like, "No, honestly, like this is fun. I could talk to you all day."
Yeah,
but
I feel like also you're inside for like a year. You're like finally.
I know, finally you're like, there's a real person. Yeah, but no, it was amazing. It was really unique. The hours I feel like are similar to being a musician. Like you're up at strange time of day because you have a night scene and then you have a morning scene, so you have to and then there's like nothing to do in between as they're filming other stuff, so you're just like trying to kill time. And I feel like that's something similar to like studio time. You're up until late hours, and then in the morning you got to do something, and then you got to do something again at night, and it's just like the waiting and relaxing in between. And I was honestly just napping on set every time I could.
I would imagine because like a lot of like you're on stop start, which is like then you're heightened and then you have to come down. So that makes sense. And I want to ask so I know you wrote the theme song for the movie.
Yes.
So in your opinion, what is, I don't know if this is the right word, difficult, but what's more challenging of a task, memorizing lines or coming up with a theme song?
Oh, that's a good question. I think for me, like lines are super easy just because like especially when you're in the auditioning period, you just really like try to become that person. So then like what they're saying feels so natural to you that you'd be like, well, what else would I say? So I feel like even though it was like a big script, I like just started to feel like the character, and like you just start to like know what she's gonna say almost. And that sounds so weird. I'm not like a huge like method actor or anything, but you just really become someone else. And so I wouldn't say that. The hard thing about theme song writing is the story isn't your story. So I would say theme song writing because you're writing like, I'm so used to writing about my feelings, my inner turmoil, like we were talking about. So when you're writing for someone that's not you, it was really like putting on the different hat. And thank God I wrote with this artist named Trey Woods, and he's a lyrical genius. Love that guy. And yeah,
Shout out Trey.
he helped write, and do most of the song, and I just hopped in and it was like, let's add this fun melody, let's add this. And it was interesting because I'm the character that they're singing about, so it's almost like the character was singing on the song. It was really cool.
That is interesting, actually.
Yeah.
What a unique perspective. And I want to know that because like I've never done acting, but like I feel like the memorization, it's a whole muscle. And then so I want to shift though now, focus for the summer for your song that's coming up.
Yeah.
F150.
Yeah.
Which I love the name of that, by the way.
Thank
Like
you.
instantly, like that is a sick fucking name. That
everyone's like, is it country? And I'm like, no, but now I'm thinking I need to make a country version.
My God. I mean, like country's booming right now.
Yeah.
Your sound is so diverse, leaning to synthwave, alternative pop, electro pop, contemporary R&B. So I want to ask, which of those kind of genres, or if it's like a different tasteful genre, would this new single lead into?
Oh, okay. It's not in my synthwave sound. I would say it's more like indie pop and alternative pop rock and alternative pop. We leaned in like with heavy acoustics on this one just because I wanted it to feel more personal, and we did a lot of gang vocals. I just wanted it to feel like such a woman empowerment song. It's fun because the song was written about a guy who only cared about his car. Literally, like that was his, like, he just loved his truck, and it was cool, but it was like he didn't care about anyone else's feelings, and he was messing with me and with other people, and it was just like getting to the point where like me and all the girls were like, dude, F this guy, like, and F your truck, like it's not that cool, like
It's
everyone on this, you could find one every 5 cars on the street, and it started to, especially because me and him, he was a lot older than me. He was 10 years older than me. I was 19 and he was 10 years older. Wow. And he like completely got me to believe that like we were keeping it hush hush because we didn't want anyone to judge. It was such a passionate love. He didn't want anyone to judge us because of the age gap, and I, like, being 19 was like, wow, he really loves me, like he doesn't want other people to judge. And some friends started picking up on it because they saw like we were hanging out a lot, and they were like, you hanging out with Mr. F-150? And I was like, maybe. Yeah. And then I found out he wasn't just messing with me, but he was messing with like every girl in the friend group, and he was saying like the exact same things to each and every one of us. And so that's kind of just how it started, because we all were calling him Mr. F-150 because we were all being hush hush. Yeah. And then when we found out, we were like, dude, F this guy.
It's so funny. It's like almost like the John Tucker.
Dude, so that's how it felt.
Well, so what's crazy is that like my next question, I'm not even kidding, was, I know we previously discussed how you wrote a theme song collaboration for the film. What film would F Your F-150 be the perfect theme song for?
It would be.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I love that.
Full circle.
Or for The Other Woman.
Ooh, okay.
When they all become it's like with Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann, and I forgot. I
haven't seen that one, but
it's fun. It's basically when she finds out her husband's cheating, and then the mistress finds out not only has he been cheating on the wife, but he has a third girl.
Oh my gosh!
And they all become besties and like mess with him, almost like a John Tucker Must Die vibe.
So no,
and I'm so for like women not like roasting on other women, because like, how are we supposed to know?
It's like the abundance left everyone up.
Yeah. And then also I feel like it brought me closer to these girls. We're all like, dang, you fell for it too? Yeah. We're like, dang.
That's so funny. Well, I'm happy again. Tragedy to triumph. I love how you turned that into something. So really quick, before we go on to the final kind of questions, I want to go back to the boards. We got to do the semifinal.
Okay.
So, and then please remind me, I'm pretty sure you chose Stuck With Me.
Yes.
So Stuck With Me versus Compass. Which one do you think is going on? Tough. It's gonna get tougher naturally.
I know.
That's the basis of it.
I'm gonna go with Compass.
So again, is it because of the imagery of like just the songwriting about the person being an object? Like
I just think it's a cute.
Didn't mean like person being an object. I mean like the person representing something. Sorry, that's better.
No, you're totally right. He's it's a simile or metaphor.
I think it's a metaphor.
Yeah, because he doesn't say as or
or like.
Yeah. Honestly, you can tell I wasn't paying attention in school.
No, neither was I.
Humming in
Trust
my head.
Me, sorry, Mom, neither was I.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but I would say it's Compass, just because I just think it's sweet. I just think it's a really sweet and like lovely song.
I like that. Yeah. 100%. I think just being someone's moral, spiritual, whatever, Compass.
Yeah,
love Compass is
and
great.
just like needing that to be guided. I think that's a cute song.
Awesome. So Compass is going on. Love that. It's gonna be now. other semifinal is gonna be Void versus Scary Love.
Oh, Void, period.
Yeah, so I knew. So you felt very strongly about those two. So
Yeah.
I know this one's going far.
Void. Yeah.
I know. So we'll wait. But Void again. So why between those two? Because that I feel like you like Scary Love a lot. What pushed it over the edge for you?
The writing, everything about it. I think, especially like. And people might be like, what? Like, why does she like that one so much? Listen to what he's saying.
Listen to the words.
It's like, yeah, like at first glance, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, it's another breakup song. And I'm not one to talk. I always write breakup songs. So who am I to talk?
Yeah.
But the more I kept listening to it, I was like, he's not talking about like a breakup. He's literally talking about leaving an addiction.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And he's like talking about his addiction as if it was a woman and a lover. So I really love that song.
It makes sense because sometimes, like in relationships and or in substances, you have to go cold turkey to really heal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what he was saying. He was like, I needed you to fill the void.
Yeah.
And like basically he's saying like he doesn't know how he's still alive without this, but he knows that if he goes back, he won't make it out alive.
100%.
Yeah.
No, it's a great sentiment. I love those types of songs. Well, both of those songs, we're thinking about it, have similar kind of not themes, but they both use literary tools that are like, you know, they something else represents something else.
Exactly.
So and that's great with songwriting. Now, before we go to the finals, I want to do a would you rather kind of section.
Oh.
So and more of a songwriting way.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I want to. These are some of the artists that I know that you really love. So I'd love to see which ones you'd want to collab with. So let's go first. Let's go. Would you rather collab with Olivia Rodrigo or Miley Cyrus?
Miley, just because she's been like my favorite since I was little, but Olivia is amazing, and I would still love to collab with her. But
when people come on, they're just like, no, but I promise I would still collab with you. No, it's not like that. It's more just like in a sense of like fandom. Yeah.
Miley Cyrus, I think she's seriously like one of the baddest women like ever.
Big Grammy winner.
Her. Yeah, she finally got one. I was so like, and I loved what she said when she got her Grammy. She was like, got my first Grammy. She's like, but I'm still like as amazing as I was yesterday and the years before, and this doesn't define me. And I was like,
it's a good mindset with that.
She's just a beautiful person. I would love to collab.
Shout out Miley. Let's have her on the pod.
I know. Have her on the pod, and then we'll hop in a studio together.
Exactly. We'll have a whole day. Next is collab with Blondie or Paramore.
Blondie for sure.
Quick.
I have never ugly cried at a concert before. And I went to Coachella 2022 last year. And she played, and like honestly Coachella was a really young crowd, so I feel like she didn't have the crowd she deserved.
Yeah.
But I'm like bawling my eyes out, sobbing, ugly crying.
Yeah.
And this girl who's like at Coachella, she turns around and she's like, Are you good? And I was like, I just didn't think I'd ever get to see her perform, you know. And now she's on tour, and she's like in her 80s, and she's just such a badass. I love her. I think she's like seriously one of the coolest women to live ever.
That's like such an amazing concert experience. Dude.
Yeah.
All right, next, this would be. I think I already know the answers. Collab with The Neighborhood or No Doubt.
That was really hard.
Yeah, I tried to make these people.
That one's really, really hard because I'm obsessed with Gwen. I think my two top would be like Gwen Stefani and Debbie Harry from Blondie. Like those are my two. Those are my two girls.
Yeah.
I think I would say No Doubt.
There it is. Wow. See, that was the upset.
I mean, I love The Neighborhood. I love them. I think they're amazing.
But you can love their album.
But I love a good woman empowerment moment. Like two really cool women coming together and like. Could you just imagine like the power, pop song we could 100%.
Make? I love that. And then finally, I want to know this one: collab with Taylor Swift or Harry Styles.
Ooh, Harry Styles, just because.
So I kind of knew that because I know all the interviews since like. It sounds like creepy. Like the interviews from the beginning that I saw.
You were really good at doing your research.
I tried, yeah. I mean, like, I want to, but you always brought up Harry Styles. You mentioned different names, but he was always
I think I just have to do, Taylor Swift was so cool, but I would have to do Harry Styles just for like my like middle school self, like to like be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's Harry Styles, you know?
Yeah, he's had an amazing career arc too.
Yeah, he really has.
And then finally, I saw that you wanted to do both of these, so I want to ask, and they're a little different, but would you rather perform at the Super Bowl halftime or the Grammys?
Super Bowl halftime.
So I thought that you were gonna say that. A lot of people,
Why do you think that?
Because I saw in one of the interviews you were saying like that's one of the things I want to do specifically.
Yeah, I think the Grammys is amazing, but I feel like you have to really bring a certain show element. So when you're doing the Super Bowl halftime, you have to become like, you have to go for people that aren't necessarily your fans.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's a lot.
Grammys, like everyone's that's there, they appreciate music already. You're not really, it's not a challenge, but I mean, like, everyone's watching the Super Bowl, and it's like mostly sport fans who don't care who you are or what you've done. So I think it's a bit of a challenge to keep them entertained.
What do you think's your favorite Super Bowl halftime that you've seen?
Beyonce.
That was really sick.
Yeah, she was insane. Like the fire that she did, and it like outlined her. It was crazy. And then also, I really was a huge fan of which one was it? Why am I blanking?
Was it a female vocalist or was it?
Yes, Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna was sick.
I loved Rihanna.
Was she pregnant?
That's how she announced she was pregnant.
That was crazy.
Everyone was hating on her, and I was like, dude, she just played all the bangers.
Literally.
She was literally she was in the air. Like, what more could you ask from her when she's dancing her butt off and she's pregnant?
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, that is, like, you have to go full spectacle, full engagement. Like, you have to bring out all the stops. So,
yeah.
Thank you for doing that. Now, to finally end it.
Oh, no.
It's going to be the ending of Mandi Macias Vibe Call West bracket. We are going to be doing Compass versus Void. Which one wins?
I'm curious because you seem to know me very well. What do you think I'm going to say?
I think it's going to be Void.
It is gonna be
yeah,
Void, yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think the way that you speak about that song is like it makes me like it makes me want to it makes me want it to be my favorite song.
Yeah, you gotta
like,
listen to it.
Is like it's so passionate and so like endearing and like you really love that song.
Yeah, I do. I just love something that's deeper than what surface level looks like.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard it, go listen to it because it's a really good song.
You know, it's also interesting. The reason why I knew that is because when we were breaking down kind of like the layers in which you listen to music, lyrics is not the first. So for you to be speaking about the lyrics, means that it must have really
everything
impacted.
Else had to be clicking in place
exactly,
already.
because then it's the last one, and then if you're speaking about that, it's like everything clicked.
Yeah.
So, Mandi, thank you so much. You've answered all my questions. You did the bracket. Can you please tell the people what's gonna be going on the rest of the year?
Yeah, my song FF 150 is dropping on June 20th, first day of summer solstice.
Let's go.
I'm like, as you mentioned, I'm playing a show at the Viper Room on July 5th. You can catch me on Instagram at official Mandi Macias, same username for TikTok, and then my website, mandimacias.com. And that's Mandi with an I, not a Y.
With an I.
With an I. She's different.
She's different.
Built different.
Literally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm such a fan of you and just even you're incredibly well spoken. The way you come on here is very positive, very charismatic. So it's been a really great pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carter, for having me. It's always fun chatting with you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys, I'm going to have all of her socials in the bio. Tag her everywhere. So thank you guys so much for listening. Vibe Call West Radio episode done.